The statement. It is amazing how life can change in a very short period of time. Remember that statement. My name is David, and I'm one of the many honorees that are here this season for team and training. It was 2006. I was perfect health. I had a wonderful wife, a daughter, a job. Everything was great. Nothing wrong with my life at all, except maybe a little bit of shoulder pain. A couple of months later, I actually went and visited a doctor. And the doctor says, tell you what, we're going to take a little bit of blood and we're going to do a bone density exam on you also. Turned out I wasn't as perfect as I thought. He says, you have arthritis in both your shoulders, you have osteoporosis throughout your entire back, and your entire body, you got osteopenia. I was 45 years old, and I had the bones of an 80-year-old woman, or a post-menopausal woman. Go figure. So with that, I said, basically, I was brittle, I was breakable, and I was no longer gumpy. That's what I found out. I'd be walking down the street, and I actually would see little old ladies walking down the street, and I would get kind of jealous because they looked like they might be in better shape than me. A few weeks later, my doctor called, and he said, David, I need you to come into my office today. He says, I said, okay, Taylor, come on in. I went in, and he said that on a recent blood test, I had a spike. It was a big spike in one of my blood levels. And it was an IgM level. And he says, it's not good. He says, what I'm going to do, I'm going to specialize that. I'm going to refer you up to someone else. He wrote me a referral for Diablo Valley Oncology. It was right here in Walnut Creek. Now, soon, my wife and my family, they all heard that, hey, David's going to go see an oncology doctor. Something's going on here. But yet, me, I'm like Mr. Positive, Mr. Optimistic. I'm like, don't worry about it. Don't worry this way. Don't worry about it. It's going to go do a little blood, and we'll see what it's all about. So I went and visited my doctor, and the next thing I was doing a PET scan, an MRI, a bone marrow biopsy, 25 chest x-rays, and gave about 12, 13 tubes of blood. On Halloween of 2006, we go visit my doctor. My doctor says, David, you've got a very, very rare form of blood cancer, and it's called Waldenstrom's. It's a non-Hodgkin's form of lymphoma. Now go back to my opening statement. It is amazing how life can change in a very short period of time. I thought it was perfect. Now I've got arthritis, osteoporosis, osteopenia, and now I got lymphoma. It's like, what next? I looked at the doctor and I said, okay, so how do we get rid of it? And he says, unfortunately, you can't get rid of it. You can't get rid of it. But with all the modern drugs and all the new technology, it's very, very treatable, and we can manage it when the symptoms arise. And those treatments are available because of the Leukemia Lymphoma Society Team and Training. That's the reason those drugs are out there. My doctor said, out of all the possible cancers I could have ever got in my lifetime, it was the best one because it was so treatable. The diagnosis was to monitor my blood every 3 months, to give blood, monitor the spike level, and to monitor the thickness of the blood and watch symptoms. Soon, I went to Stanford University and met up with Dr. Avani. And Dr. Avani is the leader in the Bay Area for Waldenstrom's non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Dr. Avani confirmed, she said, David, that's the correct diagnosis. Watch and monitor is the proper way to go about this cancer. But she goes, when the symptoms go crazy, I want you to call me. I want to be the quarterback. And Dr. Avani, she is my quarterback. We finally got out of 2006. That was a really crazy year. We went through 2007, 2008, and what happened during those years is the symptoms just kept getting more intense. It was symptoms were going crazy. In 2009, it was going nuts. I started getting, at night, I would wake up in bed, and I was soaking wet. My clothes, my pillowcase, that's called night sweats. It's a classic symptom in lymphoma. During the daytime, a typical sight would be me sitting in my Honda CRV with the heater cranked on max, in a sweatshirt and a jacket with my shoes off, just rubbing my toes and feet trying to get warm. I couldn't get warm, I was freezing like all the time. I lost 50% of my hearing, and I was tired all the time. Both of my legs From my thigh all the way down on both legs, they went numb. Everything was numb. From my calf all the way down to the tip of my toe, it just felt like I was standing in a frozen lake, like up in Michigan I've never been to Michigan before in my life, but I'm standing in a lake in Michigan, and it's like December, and it feels frozen. And not only that, when I'm standing in this frozen lake, it felt like there was a big, gigantic Mack truck just parked on top of my foot, and it didn't want to move. The weird one is, when I started looking like a cadaver, I knew I needed to call Dr. Honoree. Both of my hands and my feet were completely white. There was no sign of anything red in my hands and feet. I knew I better call in the troops. Dr. Honoree, immediately, she sent me into the main laboratory at Stanford University, and we did a blood test, and it was called cryoprotein. Turns out 31% of my blood had this protein, and it was clumping up, and it was basically freezing. It's all part of the lymphoma. We immediately started treatment the following week. Treatment consisted of plasmapheresis, which is filtering my blood plasma. Basically, you pull out the old plasma and you put in new plasma. We did that Monday and Wednesday. And on Friday, we would do IV treatment, which consisted of the drug Rituxan and another drug called Cytoxan. Cytoxan is chemo. I stand before all of you today because of a wonderful drug called Rituxan. Rituxan. This drug was developed right here in the San Francisco Bay Area. Wayne spoke a minute ago about the funding, about Team and Training. Team and Training is funding researchers all over the San Francisco Bay Area, Stanford, UC San Francisco, and all these various hospitals. This researcher designed this drug. In my body, it's the B cell, the white blood cell. Rituxan goes right at that B cell and just destroys it, annihilates it. Chemotherapy is like dropping the bomb and making sure that nothing got missed. You clean up all the tracks. We wrapped up the final treatment, and that was on January 22nd of last year. Now, all my blood numbers went back to a totally normal range, just like mine and yours are identical, except the bad guys always live in my blood. Hopefully, they're going to take a long vacation, like in Fiji or Tahiti or a nice warm area, and they're going to take a nice long vacation. The only thing is, as I stand before you, I'm still standing in the frozen lake up in Alaska or Michigan, and the truck, if anybody could push the truck off of my foot, it would be greatly, greatly appreciated. It really, really hurts. So the truck is still there. I want to say that always remember that life is a daily, daily journey. The secret to life is for all of you. Always just remember, enjoy life. That's the secret to life. We never really know what is around the corner. Always try to keep, no matter what life throws at you, you keep a good, strong, positive attitude, you keep a smile on your face, and you keep a smile in your heart. No matter what life throws at you, you just take it. And just, like Rocky says, keep moving forward. We're all in this room, we're all a bunch of endurance, crazy athletes, and we know that nothing in life is impossible, and dreams really can come true. Coming out of treatment and to hook up with all of you has been my blessing and also my best medicine. I love all of you so much for what you do all season, and I just want to say thank you for having caring hearts, and I'll see you out on the course.
All right, come on.